Well, hello, old friend.
Yeah, ay, yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Tell me what you think of me right now. Look me where I am, wish me right now. Tell me what you think of me right now. Now she's tryna look for me, goodbye.
She said, I'm sorry, I fuck with your homie. I say, bitch, what is this to me? She said, cause I look good, you don't deserve me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at it like a bad habit. And actually, it's not a new car part. It's actually an old one. Say hello to the old splitter. So the reason why I'm actually doing this, long story short, let me put the camera down real quick. When I bought the car, Jesus Christ. When I bought the car, it was already on it. So it basically looked, it's a splitter, right? It's on the car. You guys can kind of see it. Whoever decided to put it on the car decided to use self-taps. Now, self-taps sound like a great idea at first, but when you're on the highway and, when you're kind of going fast, they really don't hold up on 100-mile-an-hour, air. So basically, we had the splitter rods on it, right? I don't know if you guys can really see the hole, but it's there. And what happened was that the self-taps right underneath the bumper, basically over time, were just getting yanked out. So what happened is I was on the highway probably about a year ago, year and a half ago actually. The self-taps popped out. This whole thing on the bottom of it, the bottom hole here, got basically scraped off. And so what was happening while I was on the highway, this whole front piece was just dragging the entire time. So I was super frustrated with it. The other side, we actually yanked the other splitter rod off because I was on the side of the highway and people were going 80 miles an hour and I was just trying to get this motherfucker off. It was not happening, so I ripped the splitter rod off and ripped everything off, and I was super pissed. So long story short, I came home, pulled it out of the back of my car, and I yeeted that shit in the street. I was so irritated with it. I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna run it without it. So this is how it's pretty much looking the entire time without a splitter in general, and I really do miss it. And I'll show a picture right now of what it looked like when it had it on it, and honestly it looks really, really great. So the idea was that we were going to buy a FRS one. As you guys saw in the previous videos, we installed a FRS diffuser, and the same local guy I bought that from was selling the front splitter. I didn't have the extra cash at the time, and I was going to wait. Well, another 86 owner locally bought it from him before I did. So luckily, I still had this thing lying around. And you know what? I think we're going to reuse it. We can't hard mount this without making some brackets. I'm just not that smart when it comes to that stuff. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use some different hardware. We're going to probably hard mount this to the front bumper and see, hopefully it works. We'll get some splitter rods and for more an aesthetic reason, right? So unfortunately, this really doesn't do much when it comes to downforce. It really doesn't have any area right here to help out with any type of downforce, but it'll look cosmetically nice. And right now, that's kind of what I'm trying to get the car back to, is somewhat cosmetically nice, because it's kind of rough. So less of me yapping. Let's get into hardware, and then let's figure out how we're going to install this. I don't know why I'm doing this on the ground, but I really like the lighting right here. It looks nice. Okay, so basically when the self-taps were on there, they stuck out pretty far from the bottom of the splitter, and I think the problem was because the car is, wow, come on. The self-taps were pretty thick, and so the idea, what we're going to do now is, back to what I was saying, because it was low, it kept, every time I went over a bump or something like that, it scraped. So over time, that metal's kind of getting shaved down. So the idea that I have right now is that we're going to use basically a bolt, a washer, and a nut to see if that's going to help from long-term reliability. So I don't know if you guys can see that. hopefully you can focus, but it has a flat top to it. And so the idea is that we're going to use this and hopefully get it pretty flush where it's still going to work. So I bought some washers for it, little tiny guys, and I'm hoping that'll kind of help keep everything on there so it doesn't pop loose while I'm driving. And then it came with little nuts as well, so hopefully we can kind of hard mount this and hopefully it doesn't like pop off randomly. And yeah, so let's get and see how we're going to be able to install this. So luckily the splitter already has a bunch of holes in it, so we're actually going to just reuse those. But the question is whether or not the holes on the bottom of this are going to work. So let's see what we can find out. I really didn't look. I should have done this when I was fixing the bumper last week, but let's see here. So it looks like this should still work. None of these holes are like open or like cracked all the way through where you can't like see like that hole, like I wouldn't be able to use that, but those holes I should be able to. So there's a bunch of them, which is great because we can hard mount them more, but you can see back there that's kind of a problem. Maybe we'll see, but what do you guys think? I think this should work, right? So we bolt it and nut on it. It should hold it where, you know, this is, you know, relatively on there. It's really not moving too much. And maybe when the splitter is on there and the splitter rod's on there, we can make it work. So I don't know. I think we need to take the front bumper off, but I'm gonna try not to do that first. But I got a feeling that that's the only possible way we're gonna be able to do this. All right, I'm gonna put you guys on another quick time lapse of me just getting this whole piece of crap off, and hopefully we can make something work.
Would you with me? She said, I'm sorry, I fuck with your homie. I said, bitch, what is this to me? She said, cause I love you, you don't deserve me. I said, if you think I'm ugly, why would you with me?
I'm ugly, yeah, 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 I'm ugly.
She said, I'm sorry, I fuck with your homie. I said, bitch, what is this to me? She said, cause I love you, you don't deserve me. I said, if you think I'm ugly, why would you with me? She said, I'm sorry, I fuck with your homie. I said, bitch, what is this to me? She said, cause I love you, you don't deserve me.
Anyone who wondered how my intercooler piping layout looks like, that's how it looks like. Pretty interesting. Alright, front bumper is off, and you guys can tell this thing has seen some better days. Holy moly. That's rough, boys. It's rough. Okay, so if we can see underneath here, it's kind of hard to, but the holes still look pretty good. As you can tell, like that one's a little sketch. Don't get me wrong, that one is too. But I think we should still be able to make this work. Yeah, I can't see why not. I think worse comes to worse. We still have a drill and drill bits. I think we can, you know, smoke some new holes. Slap some new holes. What was I going with that? But we're gonna see what we can do, make this work, and go from there. I'm actually kind of really excited because I think this might work. Okay, so I just want to give you guys a little bit of an update. So I got all the screws, all the bolts in, and I wasn't able to do every single hole, but I got a feeling that this is going to be enough. So I did it all the way around. I think this might work a little bit better because of the flat. So once I get the washer and the nut on in there, I think I'll be able to get that tightened a little bit more, with a little more flush. But I think this is going to work a lot better because if you guys can see where the previous kind of one was, it was like this big like nut top on here, and I don't know, didn't work very well. But let's see the other side in here. You can see all the nice little screws. So we're gonna flip this bad boy around and see what we can do. All right, as you guys can tell, that there's basically a washer and a little nut, and God, I really hope this works Because right now, I mean, even right now, like without even being tightened down, it feels pretty solid. So I think this is gonna work. So we're just gonna tighten this bad boy down, and then we'll kind of see how it looks. I think it's gonna do okay. Right, boys, I got it all tightened down, and I think that is probably as close as I'm gonna get it to being like as flush as possible. That's pretty close. I know some of them over here, like that one's pretty close to being, you know, flush for it. So I think that's gonna be pretty good. Let's see. Let's flip this bad bastard over. All right, splitter is back on, and the fitment still looks pretty good. I still think, I don't know, like part of me wants to put the splitter rods back on, but so the big thing we need to figure out is whether or not there's a gap for the air to come through. Oh boy, that is nice and even. There's not a single hole going through that. Fuck yeah, boys, we did a good job. For once, we did a good job. Oh, let's see this side. Let's see here. Oh, look at that. There's not a little gap whatsoever. That's perfect. So basically, if you got a splitter and you have holes in here or something, it's really not doing the job. Basically, the air's going to come in, it's going to go right in the bumper, and ideally what you want is to put pressure down and come out or to the sides. So, hell yeah, boys. That looks awesome. So I'm going to put this front bumper back on, and I think at that point, we'll probably have a really good idea of kind of what we want to do, whether or not we want to put splitter rods on it or not. I mean, they always look cool, but right now, because it's so like hard mounted on that front bumper, I think I don't really need it, but I mean, it does look cool. So let me put it back on, and then I'll pick up the camera once it's back up and all tidy, and maybe we'll make a decision with that. We'll rock it for a little bit and see what we like. I swear, it is impossible to get these correct. Like, I even have freaking, I don't know what you call those anymore, quick release things, and like the gap, dude, it's just like it's nearly impossible. Like even on this side, the gap, see that gap? Even worse, bro. I can fit my whole finger in there. Like I try to push it on there, man, but it just does not. It just doesn't work, man. It's just super frustrating. But you know, whatever. It is what it is. Damn, boys, making the FRS great again. Look at that shit. God, it looks good. It looks so much better with that splitter on it. Like, it definitely complements everything now. Oh, hot damn. So what do you guys think? Think we should put some splitter rods back on there? Or do we like the clean look? I'm kind of down for both. I kind of like the clean look, and I kind of would like to have a splitter rods, just gives that, you know, extra oomph to it. But man, that looks good. Yep. I definitely like the look of it. This front end is ridiculous with the VLANs, these crazy canards that we got going on, and then the splitter again. Ooh boy, that is something else, boys. And like, I think I need to tie in some of the. It's not the actual splitter that's like moving; it's the whole bumper itself, and like you can tell, the whole thing's moving. So it is what it is, but. Maybe I can do some extra mounting, but oof. Well, there you guys have it. Splitter is on, and I'm just, man, I just keep looking at the headlights and the splitter, and just the front end's coming back together. I was getting really irritated about spending all my money on performance parts in my car, still kind of not looking all that good, and the splitter definitely complements that. I do need to get the wing re-clear coated, the hood needs to get re-clear coated, the canards need to get re-clear coated, so that's a lot of money down the road. I'll probably eventually will do, but engine performance is coming through, and you know what? It's this car is something else, and I really do like it. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. My name is Wes. I'm out. Deuces.